In the heart of New York City's bustling Chinatown, where the neon lights flickered like distant stars and the aroma of sizzling dumplings filled the air, a young waitress named Lily Chen wiped down a sticky table for what felt like the 100th time that night. But hold on, before we dive deeper, imagine this. What if the person serving your coffee right now held a secret that could change lives, including yours? Stick around till the end because this story isn't just about surprises, it's about hidden strengths we all have. If it resonates, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that prove anyone can rewrite their destiny. Now let's get into it. Lily had always been the invisible one. At 24, she blended into the chaos of dim sum delight, a modest restaurant squeezed between towering skyscrapers and tourist traps. Her uniform was a faded red apron over a simple black shirt, her hair tied back in a no-nonsense ponytail. Customers saw her as just another server, polite, efficient, but forgettable. What they didn't know was that Lily carried a world inside her, one woven from threads of loss, resilience, and a language that bridged continents. Born in a small village in rural China, Lily's life had been upended at age 5 when her parents died in a factory accident. Her only surviving relative, an aunt in America, had brought her over on a cramped flight across the Pacific. Aunt May, a stern but loving woman who ran a laundromat in Queens, had insisted Lily learn English to survive. "America doesn't care about your past," she'd say. But in quiet evenings, Aunt May would whisper stories in Mandarin, teaching Lily the elegant strokes of characters and the melodic tones that made words dance. "This is your root, child, never forget it." Lily absorbed it all, becoming fluent by her teens, yet in school kids mocked her accent, calling her the foreigner. So she hid it, speaking only English in public, letting her Mandarin gather dust like an old family heirloom. Now working double shifts to save for community college, Lily dreamed of becoming a translator or teacher, something that honored her heritage without the judgment. But dreams felt distant amid the daily grind. Her coworkers teased her gently. "Lily, you barely speak up in English Mandarin?" "Yeah, right." Even the manager, Mr. Wang, a gruff Hong Kong immigrant, dismissed her claims once when she mentioned it casually. "Prove it then," he'd laughed, but never gave her a chance. Customers were worse. They assumed she was just another low-wage worker barking orders without eye contact. It stung, but Lily swallowed it, focusing on tips to pay the rent. One rainy Tuesday evening, the restaurant was unusually packed. Tourists huddled under umbrellas, locals sought refuge from the downpour. Lily darted between tables, balancing trays of steaming wonton soup and crispy egg rolls. At table 7, a group of 4 sharply dressed men in suits settled in. They spoke rapid Mandarin, their voices low but animated. Lily overheard snippets as she approached. "That billionaire, Zhang Wei, his empire crumbles if we strike now," her heart skipped. Zhang Wei, the name rang bells. He was a tech mogul, a self-made billionaire who'd emigrated from China decades ago, building a fortune in AI and real estate. His face was plastered on billboards, a symbol of the American dream for many immigrants like her. The men didn't notice her lingering. One, a burly man with a gold watch, leaned in. "Zhang thinks he's untouchable, but our insider says his next deal is fragile. Mention his name in the negotiation and watch him fold." They chuckled, plotting what sounded like corporate sabotage. Lily's hands trembled as she set down their menus. Why were they talking about him so casually, and why here in a place like this? Across the room, at a corner booth shrouded in shadows, sat an unassuming older man in a plain gray hoodie and jeans. He nursed a cup of jasmine tea, scrolling on his phone. No one recognized him. Why would they? Zhang Wei, the billionaire himself, often dined incognito in humble spots like this to remember his roots. He'd started as a dishwasher in a similar restaurant, scraping by before his big break. Tonight, he sought solace from boardroom battles, but fate had other plans. As Lily took the men's orders, they switched to broken English, assuming she couldn't understand. "Dumplings fast," the burly one barked, but then back to Mandarin. "And after we ruin Zhang Wei, we'll take his market share. His name will be Mud." Lily froze. This wasn't just gossip, it sounded malicious, perhaps illegal. Her mind raced, should she say something, but who would believe her, the quiet waitress? The challenge hit her like a wave. All her life, people had underestimated her. Aunt May had passed away 2 years ago, leaving Lily alone with mounting bills and unspoken grief. She'd faced eviction threats, worked through fevers, and endured leering customers who saw her as easy prey. "You're too soft, Lily," her ex-boyfriend had said before leaving. "Stand up for yourself." Now, here was a moment to prove them wrong, not just for herself, but for the heritage she'd hidden. Gathering courage, she straightened and addressed the men in flawless Mandarin. "Gentlemen, if you're discussing Mr. Zhang Wei, you might want to lower your voices. Walls have ears even in a place like this." The table fell silent. The burly man's face drained of color. You speak Mandarin?" he stammered in the language, eyes wide. The others gaped, one dropping his chopsticks. From his booth, Zhang Wei's head snapped up. He'd been half listening to the ambient chatter, but hearing his name in that clear, accentless Mandarin cut through the noise like a knife. He watched as Lily continued, her voice steady despite the pounding in her chest. "I couldn't help overhearing. Plotting against someone like that, it's not right. He's built so much from nothing, just like many of us." The men exchanged panicked glances, mumbling excuses about just business talk. One even apologized, flustered. Zhang stood approaching slowly. The restaurant hushed as recognition dawned on a few patrons. Is that? Someone whispered. He reached the table, his eyes locked on Lily. Young lady, he said in Mandarin, did I hear correctly? You mentioned my name. Lily turned, her apron stained with soy sauce, and met his gaze. For the first time in years, she didn't shrink. Yes, sir, these gentlemen were discussing you. I thought you should know. The billionaire's expression shifted from surprise to admiration. No one here believed you could speak Mandarin? He asked, glancing at the stunned coworkers peeking from the kitchen. Lily nodded, a lump in her throat. They thought I was just ordinary. Zhang smiled warmly. Ordinary, my dear, fluency like yours is a gift, and courage even more so. What followed was a whirlwind. Zhang confronted the men quietly, learning they were rivals from a competing firm, spreading rumors to undermine his latest venture, a non-profit AI program for immigrant education. Their plot fizzled under his scrutiny. They left red-faced, tails between their legs, but for Lily it was the start of something profound. Zhang invited her to sit, ordering extra dishes. Over steaming baozi, he shared his story, arriving in America penniless, facing racism, doubting himself. I hid parts of me too, he confessed, but secrets weigh you down. You reminded me of that tonight. Lily opened up about her losses, Aunt May's death from cancer, the loneliness, the buried dreams. Tears welled as she spoke of practicing Mandarin alone, whispering to ghosts. Moved, Zhang offered her a scholarship through his foundation. Study translation, teach others, your voice matters. It wasn't charity, it was recognition. Lily accepted, her heart swelling with hope she'd long forgotten. But challenges lingered. News of the incident spread, first whispers in the restaurant, then viral on social media. Waitress exposes plot against billionaire, headlines screamed. Lily faced backlash, jealous coworkers accused her of showboating, online trolls called it a stunt. Even her landlord, hearing of her fame, hiked the rent. Doubt crept in, was she ready for the spotlight? One night, alone in her tiny apartment, she broke down, clutching Aunt May's old jade necklace. Why me? She sobbed. Resolution came through small acts of bravery. Lily confronted her manager, demanding respect. I've proven myself, treat me as such. He relented, promoting her to shift lead. With new friends from Zhang's network, she navigated the publicity, turning it into advocacy for immigrant workers. She started a free Mandarin class at the community center, helping kids like her younger self embrace their roots without fear. Months later, Lily stood on a stage at Zhang's gala, now a college student. No one believed in me, she said, voice strong. But belief starts within. Don't hide your gifts, share them, and watch the world change. The audience applauded, Zhang beaming like a proud father. Back in the restaurant, life hummed on, but Lily was transformed. She'd faced isolation, prejudice, grief, and emerged stronger. Her story inspired patrons, one even left a note. You gave me courage to speak my truth. And so, dear viewer, remember Lily's journey next time you doubt yourself. Hidden talents can spark revolutions. If this tale touched you, smash that like button, it helps spread these stories. Subscribe for more emotional rides that remind us we're all one bold word away from destiny. What's your hidden strength? Share in the comments. Until next time, keep believing.